Alright, I'm Brandon Rader, and today I'm doing my presentation on why touching matters to a child. I looked up a study two researchers did at Harvard, and it was on if they should let a child cry or if they should console them when they're crying. Alright? What to do when your child is crying. One, they have said that you should keep your children close. You should control or console them when they cry. Bring them to bed with you, let's say if they have a nightmare. These things will allow the child to feel safe and comfortable, and it might be a stress, but there are greater rewards that are beyond yourself. Alright. On the next slide, we're looking at what to not do when your child has been crying. You should not just leave them alone when they are crying, mentally thinking that they will eventually cry it out. You should not put your children in separate bedrooms or even separate rooms. This is seen as a American child rearing practice, and in other cultures, it's not even. This doesn't even happen. You most of the time have your children sleeping in the same room or even same bed as the parents. It has been seen to cause post-traumatic stress and panic disorders when the child becomes an adult. And this is very important because it just shows how much touching matters at a young age. Alright, about the study. It was done by Michael Commons and Patrice Miller. They were both at the Department of Psychology at Harvard. They examined child rearing practices in other cultures, like I said in the last slide, and also here in the United States, and could tell the differences. Commons says, having a child cry unnecessarily harms a child permanently, changing the nervous system so they are likely to become sensitive to trauma. This is a very important statement because it shows how important crying is to the child and that it can be a permanent damage. The pairs say that American child rearing practices are influenced by fears that children will grow dependent, but parents are actually wrong. This doesn't seem to be the case. It actually is seen to make children more secure and finally be able to step out on their own and create their own relationships. And the other Patrice Miller said, we've stressed independence so much that it's become a negative side effect in our society. Why touching matters. Children need nurturing touch for emotional, physical, and cognitive development and health. Positive and respectful touch communicates with love and care. Children help children learn that they are in control of their own bodies. So I'll give you the reason why it is important for touch. Physically, we know that preterm babies who are touched and caressed in the hospital earlier and are healthier than preterm babies who are not. It also gives the child more body awareness. Let's say if a child at a young age doesn't really know where his knee is or know where his toes are, and they bump into things a lot more, they would actually bump into objects a lot more than a child would be if the parent caressed and touched the child in all these different places at a young age. They'd be more awareness of their own body in their body. It also makes the child more emotionally secure and calm. Touch is important for the child to help bond with his or her primary caregiver. Studies have shown that when newborns are first placed on their mother's stomach, they will crawl up her body. Originally, researchers thought babies were doing this because of breast milk, but studies have shown that infants actually prefer the physical touch more than they do the breast milk. and it leads to a loss in less dependency, or leads to less dependency, which American child rearing practices actually think that it does the opposite, that it makes a child more dependent if we touch them more. It, like I said, it gives them control of their own bodies, and by discussing touch, let's say if you have a child that's a baby and you're about to change its diaper, it is very important for you to tell them what you're doing at each point, so they know what you're saying, and they can feel the sensation at the same time of the touch. And then at a young age, they can put together certain words with touch, even when you're changing their diaper. Some people might think it's pointless because they say that the child cannot hear you, but it is very important for the development of the child. And also, don't be too forceful with the child. Let the child come to you with touch. And I have a quote from a teacher on here. Her name's Diane Ferguson. She said, "At our facility, we have a minimum of 3 hugs a day. When they arrive in the morning, it's very hard to detach themselves from their parents. So when they come to the door, I ask them, 'Can I give you a hug?' Then at night time, I ask, 'Do you want Miss D to give you a hug?' And then when they're going home, I ask, 'Can you give Miss D a hug?' Though throughout the day, there's various things that happen. Kids might hurt themselves, they might need a hug, there might be a struggle going on between the children, and we'll need to discipline them. But after I discipline them, I give them a hug to make sure they know what they did was incorrect, but they are still loved." And I think this is very important, because just because a child does something wrong doesn't mean they shouldn't be touched emotionally when they're crying. Because, like I said, the studies have shown that it's actually more important to caress your child and not be so distant like it is in American child rearing practices. So I just wanted to teach you all about the importance of touch, and I hope this helped you out for later child family studies practices. Alright? Thanks a lot.